healthy rotation that hasn't allowed any runs in almost a week. Tonight, the staff ace goes in Philly, looking to finish what he starts for a third straight time. Nats with all the momentum you would want, coming off a homestand of 6-2, on to Philadelphia and then Atlanta on this trip. And Washington walks into kind of a buzzsaw here in Philly in terms of baseball news of the day. Ryne Sandberg resigns as manager of the Phils. Span scratch with his back barking at him. Bryce Harper not in the lineup. Anthony Rendon goes on the DL. But when some guys have missed games lately, the other teammates are stepping up and getting things done.
Yeah, next man up mentality. But for a team that's won 6 in a row, they're a mess. So hopefully things are okay here tonight. And anytime you got Max Scherzer pitching, you can't be that big of a mess.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling okay because we're not facing Max Scherzer tonight. But the last time the Nats had to scratch Denard Span, Scherzer got some serious thing done at home, and he's been fantastic last 2 times out.
I mean, did you see that? He's retired 54 of the last 57 batters he's faced. He's the 5th pitcher in modern era to allow 1 hitter fewer in back-to-back complete games. The last 2 games, I've never seen anything like it. What does he have left in his tank tonight against the Phillies? Are these last complete games going to take something out of him? Does he have more for a team that's not playing well? What's Max Scherzer going to do tonight? It's a Friday night. Max Scherzer pitching. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, evidently addicted to chocolate, and we'll see if he feeds that monster again this evening. He's seen the Phillies, and they've seen him 3 times this year. Good record, good ERA, strikeout to walk ratio is just total dominance. Michael A. Taylor now, because of Span scratch, goes from number 8 to number 1 in the lineup. Michael hitting .315 his last 15 games, 8 stolen bases. Not a bad young guy to plug into that leadoff spot. Bank for the achiever in you. And by visitannapolis.org, find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. Beautiful view as we look up towards City Center tonight. There's Pete Mackanin, longtime solid baseball guy. At least for this weekend, he's going to take over for the Phillies, vacating his third base coaching box and running the ball club, a guy you know very well, FP. More on Pete Mackanin as we go through the night. Right now, it feels a lot more humid than 49%. We have possible storms in the area, 79 degrees at the bank, where the Phillies are 17-19 this year. So Taylor, the leadoff guy, and then Danny Espinosa right behind him. 6 career hits, couple of walks against Aaron Harang. That puts Matt Dendecker in the lineup in the number 8 spot. So he goes to right. Clint Robinson was in right. He goes to left. And here's Aaron Harang, 16-time career against the Nats.
Come on. Michael Taylor might swing right here.
He does. Hits it pretty well. And that ball is going to one-hop the wall a long way away, right on time at 7:05. And it looks like the baseball is going to be carrying in South Philly tonight.
Well, there goes the no-hitter. Michael Taylor filling in for Denard Span. You had a feeling he might swing at the first pitch. That's why we didn't tell you what Aaron Harang has. So we'll tell you in a minute. Michael Taylor with a leadoff double. He's been swinging much better lately, feeling more confident, feeling more relaxed in the lineup, and making a case that he should be playing a lot more. Denard Span with back spasm, in case you just joined us. Michael Taylor in there in center field. And there's the rest of Aaron Harang. Last start on the 20th against the Cardinals. 10-1 loss, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs.
Here's Danny Espinosa, looking to at least move that runner. They're going to set up outside here. Danny wants to pull. He tries to with a bunt.
Well, a first inning run with Max Scherzer on the mound could prove to be huge. I like the idea by Danny Espinosa.
Well, you made the point yesterday about the first inning run. After Span got to second, single and an error, the Espinosa bunt, the Escobar ground ball, and really that was all Doug Fister and Blake Trinan would need going through that afternoon.
Well, Danny Espinosa obviously knows that the Nats are 20-5 when they score in the first inning, so that's what he's thinking.
He bunts it in the air, and fortunately unreachable, hitting at the top of the dugout.
Ball is carrying tonight. Set the defense for the Phillies tonight behind Aaron Harang. Ashley Herrera Brown, the outfield. Galvis Franco, left side. Hernandez Howard, right side. And Cameron Rupp behind the plate.
Cameron Rupp spelling Carlos Ruiz, who's 0 for his last 10.
Pete McCannon's first lineup.
Danny Espinosa, last 9 games, 12 for 32. How many times do you see a guy fail to lay down a bunt and then he'll swing away and get a hit? We hope that happens.
There's Pete McCannon. AAA manager for the Expos for a long time. Played for the Expos. Was the third base coach for Montreal and has been with the Pirates, the Reds, and now managing the Phillies. He was an interim manager for the Cincinnati Reds for a while, and they asked them to do a favor, and you know that whole Ryan Sandberg thing, there's nothing more into it than he walked in today and said, I'm done. You're thinking, well, maybe they fired him, he's a Hall of Famer, and we'll let you resign. No, he just came in today and shocked everybody in the Phillies side, saying he quit.
Espinosa, did he go? That is a swing, says Andy Fletcher down at third base, 1 out.
I'm the conspiracy theorist. When I heard that Ryan Sandberg resigned today, I thought,
sure,
he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we'll just say that you resigned. We don't want to fire you because you're a Hall of Famer. But no, talking to everybody on the Phillies side today, he just walked in and shocked everybody.
And they said that happened at 10:30 this morning. And then a put-together press conference later on featured Sandberg, Pat Gillick, and Ruben Amaro Jr. And Ryan Sandberg said, I just think it's good for the ball club and wish these guys well. He got really emotional when he talked about his 2+ years here and the passion that folks around here have for baseball.
Well, maybe Pete McCannon does well this year and they hire him back next year, and who knows? I remember when this happened to the Nats, some guy named Davey Johnson came in and that went okay, right?
Yeah. Jim Riggleman resigned after a long winning streak and a sweep of Seattle.
Wasn't it 11?
10, I think it was 10 in a row.
Yes, it was double digits.
The Nats went to Chicago. John McLaren engineered 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. And then Davey took over on the first day of a trip to Anaheim. Escobar, 337 against right-handed pitching, 5th best in the league. 0-1 from Harang. Taylor started and stopped, and that's a strike. Low in the zone toward the inside edge. Jordan Baker behind the plate, 4th year in the big leagues. The crew chief is Jerry Meals out at second base in his 18th year. Way inside, and you can hear it up here as that got Escobar 89 miles an hour. And this might be the last thing the Nats need, another regular hurt.
That had a horrible sound.
Escobar hit for the 5th time this year, and that's the 21st national batter to be hit by a pitch this season.
But that one we could hear. And it hit him square. Man, right on the left hand.
So Lee Kuntz along with Matt Williams right there.
If he makes it through this one, he has to wear some sort of protection on that left hand. The way he dives in there for balls on the outer half. That was a bad pitch by Aaron Harang. That was up and in. He was diving for the pitch away like he always does. But do you remember Jeff Bagwell? He used to have a big thing on his hand because he was a guy that used to dive and get hit in the hand a lot.
Well, this is pretty impressive that he's staying in this game.
For now.
Yeah.
Okay, watch where this hits him. Left hand coming toward the ball, and look at it just sail on Harang, and Cameron Rupp almost reaching behind Yunel Escobar. And there's been some that might have been on Yunel Escobar because he's diving across the plate as we listen to it. This one, not the case. That was just a bad pitch.
Tough way to get 2 men on with 1 out here, first inning. Clint Robinson back in the cleanup spot tonight. He was on base 3 times yesterday at Nationals Park. A couple of singles, 1 for an RBI and a walk. He's had 2 hits and 6 at-bats against Aaron Harang, who gets ahead. Robinson last 15 games, 15 hits, 6 RBIs, batting .313. And he hits 1 out to center. Odubel Herrera moving back for it. And Taylor went back to the bag and stays there on the 2nd out. It'll be up to Wilson Ramos with 2 down. This kind of still shocks us to come to this ballpark and see at least 2/3 of the yard empty on a Friday night with the Phillies at home. They are 13th in the league out of 15 teams in attendance at 25,000 a game. So here's Ramos, 13 for 40 last 10 games, doing a good job with runners in scoring position, and a couple of hits against Harang, including a home run career. That one low and away.
It's amazing how a ballpark can change just based on the fans that are in it or not in it, because this place on a Friday night used to be like a playoff atmosphere no matter who they were playing. The buzz in this ballpark unlike any other for a long time, and now it just gives the park a whole different look, a whole different feel.
Yeah. In the early days of the Nats, it was so intimidating coming here with our team that was trying to build towards something, and the Phillies, who were just in the prime of their best run ever. in terms of postseason play. Those years and these years.
Nats Park is like this on a Friday night, or has the buzz like this place used to have on a Friday night.
So since the start of 2011, the Nats are 6 over against the Phils, but look at that. They were 32 under. 1-2 to Ramos now. And Harang bounces one. Taylor got his secondary lead, goes to third without a throw.
I think one of the interesting storylines, besides Max Scherzer pitching tonight, how the Phillies going to react to their manager quitting on them. And that's no small thing as a player, as you watch the ball in the dirt from Aaron Harang. Nice read by Michael Taylor. Because as a player, Carp, you feel like, you know, regardless of how bad we're playing or how things are going, when your manager just decides not to come to the ballpark and shut it down on you, that's not an easy thing to get over in a couple of days. Like, we're really that bad that you're going to quit on us?
2-2 to Ramos. Up the middle, got through, near the bag, and Wilson Ramos beats it as Cesar Hernandez just couldn't get anything on that throw. So Harang slows it down, and Wilson Ramos gets a rare infield hit. The Nats score another first inning run. They scored 15 of them on the homestand and now on the road.
Well, it might be a big run. We'll see. Anytime you stake Max Scherzer to a 1-0 lead before he takes the mound, and you're wondering if Jerry Meals got in the way of that, and that was the difference. Watch Jerry Meals and Hernandez say hello to each other. Hernandez had to throw it over Meals, couldn't really let it whip, and I think that's a blocking violation on Jerry Meals. He was not set. Ball's going the other way. I was going to call a charge initially, but his feet were still moving.
Yeah, definitely a blocking foul.
Get out of the way.
Here's Desmond.
Or stay in the way. Watch. Was his feet set right here? Jerry Meals.
Oops.
No, he's moving. That's a definite block. I got both hands on my hips right now, and I'm giving him the block. Initially, I had the hand on the back of my head for the charge, but I changed my mind.
And all of you listening out there, please do not send FP a whistle. Do not send him a whistle.
If you can't have fun in baseball, I can't help you.
2-0 now, and big spot for Ian Desmond. Had his 17th multi-hit game of the year yesterday, including that early home run. And maybe now, with Span iffy here and there with the back, some days good, some days not so good. Rendon on the DL.
Those are pretty good ones. I already told you about the 20 and 5, 30 and 11 when they score first.
Ian Desmond becomes more important to this offense right now than maybe he has been all year. 2-1 pitch. Nice take on the breaking ball, 3-1.
Nice to see Ian Desmond in a count. 3-1, get a fastball. Catch it out front, see what happens.
Escobar at second. Ramos at first. Hit him twice.
Last couple of games, Ian Desmond with the walk-off sac fly against the Braves. That had to make him feel good. And, I mean, a whole ton of chocolate syrup. Wow. They're going to be sponsored by Hershey's here in a second. Then the home run yesterday. Right center field. Everybody happy in the dugout for Ian Desmond, and hopefully that bat's coming around, like you said.
3-2 runners on the move. And Desmond high in the air to right center. In between Herrera and Brown. And Herrera, the center fielder, makes the call and the catch, but the Nats have scored. And here comes Max Scherzer. 176 ERA, second in the league. 181 opponents batting average, first. First in complete games and shutouts. First in innings, second in strikeouts. And the Phillies have their hands full tonight. Maikel Franco, a budding star for this ball club. He's had 145 at bats at the big league level this year, and he has 10 homers with 29 RBIs.
We're missing an infielder.
And Escobar's done for the night. Dan Uggla is coming out, and that should move Danny Espinosa over to third base.
Serious mash unit behind Max Scherzer tonight. Taking the next man up mentality to a whole different level here in game one. There you see the arsenal for Max Scherzer, and if you don't know about it yet, I can't help you. Best pitcher on the planet, takes the mound for the Nats. Has allowed 3 of the last 57 batters he's faced to reach a base hit, a walk, and a hit by pitch. The 5th pitcher in modern history to allow 1 hit or fewer in back-to-back complete games. Here we go. Game on. I can't wait.
And here's Odubel Herrera, who's 4 for 9 against Scherzer this year. Strike one with an RBI. A double and a triple among those 4 hits. And a bouncing ball, right side, stays fair. Nice hop for Tyler Moore, 1 out.
I see the defense tonight behind Max Scherzer. Robinson, Taylor, Dendecker the outfield. Desmond Espinosa left side. Uggla Moore right side. And Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
Man, this thing is getting crazy.
It's getting crazy.
But you have Dan Uggla to call on.
And he's been good.
Here's Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman, hitting .242. Scherzer ahead of him with the heater. Hernandez 1 for 4 against Max, and hitting a .183 from the left side of the plate. That was a breaking ball. Emmanuel Burris, Washington, D.C. native, called up today. Good to see Manny back in the big leagues. He's been with the Nats in camp for the last couple of years. Woodrow Wilson High School in the district. Went on to Kent State. Had a great career there. Fastball upstairs, swing and a miss. 2 down.
Pretty good start to this one, too. Oh, my goodness. Elevated 95, a 3-pitch see ya. And Hernandez late on the Scherzer elevated fastball. A lot of his strikeouts have come with the slider or the fastball right above the letters. Tough one to lay off.
Next up, Maikel Franco. He jacks one to the left side, and Danny Espinosa keeps it out of the left field corner.
Same seats, everybody.
Wow. Espinosa moves to third base. 2 batters later, he makes a great play.
third. Nats take on the Giants. It's a 6:05 start. Circle that. First of all, celebrate Independence Day with post-game Freedom Fireworks. That's presented by Associated Builders and Contractors. Enjoy an amazing performance by the United States Navy Ceremonial Guard Drill Team to kick off the display. For information and to purchase your tickets, go to nationals.com.
7-8-9 for the Nats, top of the second. Tyler Moore, Matt Dendecker, Max Scherzer. Tyler has 19 hits this year. Dendecker has 1. Scherzer has 8. Aaron Harang, first inning, 22 pitches, 15 strikes. And give a little bit of credit to Michael A. Taylor on that pitch that hit way out in front of the catcher. He got himself over to third base, and then he scored on the infield hit. You don't know how things would have worked out had he stayed at second base, but the Nats are taking advantage of every opportunity they are given. Michael A. Taylor, a little faster than our buddy Andrew from the clubhouse staff. And the ball out to center that'll drop. Tyler Moore, 20th base hit of the year. He's starting to collect hits as the at-bats are increasing.
Well, he's got a good two-strike approach working. You know, early in the count, he's going to let her rip. But later in the count, he spreads out, goes no stride, just tries to put it in play. You see him massage that one to center field. Nice piece of hitting with 2 strikes.
He's got his batting average at .213, about 30 points higher than it was a week or so ago. And there's Anthony Rendon. They're calling it a left quad strain, retroactive to yesterday. Here's Matt Dendecker. Got himself in the hit column and the RBI column with an 8th inning hit yesterday. He'd already come into the ball game to play right field.
First knock as a Nat.
Yeah. '27-year-old outfielder. Fort Lauderdale guy, played at the same high school that Michael A. Taylor did. Matt was there first at Westminster Academy.
Kind of got a little Nate Sherholtz going in his stance right now with the way he's cocking that bat toward the pitcher.
2-0 pitch. That's on the corner. Matt went on to a great career in Gainesville with the Florida Gators, 3-time All-SEC. The ball to the right side, to his left. Well played by Hernandez. And that's all the Phillies can get.
Nice play by Cesar Hernandez, getting the lead runner, but that's a good exchange of runners for the Nats and make this bunt attempt by Max Scherzer a little easier, getting Dendecker to second versus Tyler Moore.
8 for 33 with 2 sacrifices this year.
Pretty good ovation here in Philadelphia. Did you hear that?
I would imagine.
What are we waiting on?
I wonder if that was not a double play, but I wonder if they were thinking about Galvis around the bag.
They're looking at something. Mark Wiedemeyer on the phone. Matt Williams says play ball.
Do you call it the neighborhood play when it's only a force out, or does it have to be a double play to be non-reviewable?
I don't know. We're in Philadelphia. It depends on what neighborhood you're in.
Well, we're in South Philly right now.
Uh-oh.
Scherzer squares and lays down a beauty. I mean, everything he does has a purpose behind it and execution to go with it.
Everything he does, he practices hard. Whether it's bunting, base running, a new pitch, that pause out of the stretch that he does to disrupt hitters and base runners' timing. It's all worked on real hard behind the scenes between starts. There's no accident to why he's great. You just don't fall out of bed and throw perfect games and no-hitters or near perfect games and near no-hitters. A lot of work.
Michael A. Taylor, first pitch of the ball game, hit the ball about 380 to deep right center for the double. Scored 2 outs later on the infield hit by Wilson Ramos. another reason Michael might have been on the attack early. 4 previous at bats against Harang, Aaron had struck him out 3 times. So attacking early. Now 2 for 5 career against this 37-year-old right-hander, Aaron Harang.
Yeah, you could have hit on a fastball first time up. You could see something else. He's seen 2 sliders.
0-2.
Slider, change. Nissan on the pitch track. The 84-mile-an-hour changeup from Aaron Harang looked like it fooled Cameron Rupp a little bit. I wonder if there was a cross up there. He went out to get a slider, and it came back the other way. Like,
yeah. Taylor can't get the breaking ball and strikes out. So the Nats have 3 hits already and a run, and now Max Scherzer back to work.
first, Max Scherzer. Odubel Herrera, little ground ball to first. Then Cesar Hernandez. Thanks for coming. Elevated 95. And the hottest hitter in baseball since June 2nd, Maikel Franco. 395 average, 34 hits. Lines out to end the bottom of the first.
6 pitches, 6 strikes, 3 outs. Phillies due up, brought to you by Honda. So Ryan Howard, 1 hit against Max. Dominic Brown started the season on the DL, just getting his game back. And Cody Ashe struggling and now hitting just .235. First pitch off speed to Ryan Howard. Big shift on. Desmond stays home. Ugla near the umpire. Danny Espinosa, the third baseman, playing about 200 feet from his now normal position.
Coming out easy early for Max, 96. Usually you see that in the 4th or 5th when he needs a big out.
1-1 to Howard. Skies one to left. It's in the yard. Clint Robinson called off by Michael A. Taylor. And after those early season glitches at Fenway, we've seen Michael play confidently in center field. Dominic Brown next, and then Cody Ashe.
It's just about playing. Like I said the other day, he's getting some reps now. He's showed Matt Williams that he's his left fielder when Denard Span is healthy, and his center fielder when he's not.
Dominic Brown started the season on the DL with left Achilles tendonitis. He's now played in 10 games, 35 at bats with 6 hits. And this one out to left center, and Michael A. Taylor on his way. Just kind of casually getting there, 2 outs. And the Phillies obviously plan tonight. Don't get to 2 strikes against this guy.
Well, that's what Max said about his last start, was that the Pirates came out and showed him they were going to be aggressive. And then as soon as he saw first time around they were hacking early in the count, he went to his secondary pitches to kind of combat that. And he's seeing the same thing here from Philly. And guess what? He could see the same thing from everybody the rest of the year. They're going to try to get him early.
Cody Ashe, 2 for 6 career. against Scherzer. On a 5-game hitting streak. And the breaking ball. A strike for a while, then it broke down and in.
Well, that's a great take by Cody Ashley. That pitch had strike written all over it till the last second. A lot of guys are swinging at that one.
2-1 pitch, and it's out of play.
2-1 changeups. I mean, you just can't sit on a pitch off Max Scherzer. 2-1, you're thinking, okay, fastball, no.
Last 6 starts, starting with Joe Ross.
He gave up a run and they sent him down.
Yeah, that's. We expect a lot of our young pitchers.
Same seats, everybody.
Strikeout number 2 for Max Scherzer. Pitch count low, 6 in a row. And the scoreless streak for the starting staff is really getting interesting. The Nats on top 1-0. Mazda with some more do-ups, this time for the Nats. Danny Espinosa rounding the bases a lot lately. Dan Uggla, not a lot of ABs this month, but we'll tell you about his numbers against Harang. They're good. And then Clint Robinson, of course, a couple of home runs on the road. One in Milwaukee, one in St. Petersburg. Danny Espinosa, first time up. Got worked over a bit with some off-speed stuff by Harang. Struck out. Danny still, though, 6 for 15 against him with a couple of bases on balls. 2-3-4 here. And Espinosa waiting for that off-speed pitch. Ryan Howard waiting for the ground ball. Dan Uggla is 9 for 29 career against Harang, with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. So Yunel Escobar couldn't answer the bell to play defense in the bottom of the first, and here's Dan Uggla getting some ABs. .216 with a homer, 12 RBIs overall.
And I think a pretty cool story that's kind of got under the radar. I mean, yeah, he made the team out of spring training. People were thinking, well, as soon as Anthony Rendon comes back, he might be a casualty. Then he hit that big home run in Atlanta. And a guy that was out of baseball last year, sticking and helping the club off the bench, doing a really great job.
Yeah.
He's shown value as a pinch hitter. He's filled in for Anthony Rendon. He's got some big hits, some clutch hits. Dan Uggla's a real feel-good story for the Nats this year.
3-1. And let it rip here. 234 career home runs. And he's on base with one out for Clint Robinson.
Don't miss the DMV's premier PGA Tour golf event, the Quicken Loans National. Join host some guy named Tiger Woods, new guy, July 28th through August 2nd at Robert Trent Jones Golf Club. For tickets, go to QLnational.com. Did I say that right? Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Clint Robinson fly ball to center first time. And a bouncer out towards second. That's a tag, and that's an assist. And Cesar Hernandez engineers a 4-3 double play.
Hold on. I think
they called the runner at second safe.
I'll tell you what, Cameron Rupp stayed at home. If Cameron Rupp ran off the field right now, the Phillies catcher, Dan Uggla, would have scored.
Right now, Dan Uggla's on third base. This will be interesting.
Pete McCannon has his first decision to make as the Phillies manager. He's looking back in his dugout. And the Philly fans are screaming, review that.
Now, I thought I saw Jerry Meals point as if he was saying there was a tag, but then he made a safe call.
Did Ryan Howard touch first? Was Ryan Howard on first? Okay. There's a safe call. Where's Ryan Howard's feet?
So it is the play at second.
It is the play at second, but Ryan Howard at first was very casual, I should say, with his feet. Dan Uggla is not quitting, folks. Look, he's going nowhere.
Everybody's in foul territory.
He should try to score right now. Score. There's nobody there. Just start walking in.
It's even hard to tell from the scoreboard replay whether Uggla was by the tag or not when it was supposedly made. I think I saw the umpire's right arm and not his left, but he definitely called safe initially. So they've got to overturn this, and the headsets are coming off fairly quickly. Runners out. It is a 4-3 double play. So Cesar Hernandez gets the putout and the assist. And this one is now into the bottom of the third. Pete McCannon 1 for 1.
Cruising to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Nationals. Join the Nationals on Saturday, July 4th as they host Independence Day, the third installment of this season's Patriotic Series that's presented by SAIC. Be a part of the salute to our country as the Nats take on the Giants. It's an 11:05 a.m. start. Sleep fast, everybody, from the July 3rd game. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets today. I love that 11 o'clock start on the 4th. I think it's just perfect.
Cameron Rupp, first pitch swinging. Long way to go. Tyler Moore, he'll get there. Out still coming quickly. 7 straight to start the game for Max Scherzer and his defense.
Good play by Tyler Moore. A little peek, know where you're at. On the road, not an easy play. You know your own ballpark, but when you're on the road, it's sometimes tough to navigate in foul territory.
Next up, Freddie Galvis. Breaking ball stays outside. Galvis was hitting well over 300 and in the top 10 of the league the last time the Nats saw him. He's now in the mid-250s. And that's in there to even the count, 1-1. Freddie Galvis 1 for 11 career against Max Scherzer.
I mean, just read the swings on the fastball. They're not picking them up. We talk about the deception, how he crossfires, hides the ball late. We showed you the other night Steven Strasburg's new and improved mechanics on how the Braves weren't picking up his fastball.
And he challenges him. Ball hits the side of the mound. Ugla backhand. 2 down. Inside the numbers from Jeep. Consecutive complete game starts with either no hits or 1 hit allowed since 1940. And R.A. Dickey, the only guy recently, goes all the way back to Dave Stieb, who once wrote a book called Tomorrow I'll Be Perfect. Sudden Sam McDowell. Man, talk about some lists that Max Scherzer has people digging up these days. Aaron Harang off to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Harang can swing it. 4 hits this year. Started his swing. There's an appeal, and Paul Emmels says no. Harang, an 094 career batter. Scherzer misses away. And Harang to the shortstop on a 3-1 pitch. Ian Desmond, 9 in a row to start the game. And FP said,
exact same seats, everybody. Don't even move a muscle. You go back to the top of the first inning. First pitch, Michael Taylor ready to play. There goes a no-hitter, leadoff double. Then Aaron Harang with a curveball that just missed. Michael Taylor doing a nice job of advancing to third base. And then all kinds of stuff going on here. Weird hop. Jerry Meals wants to hug the second baseman. Wilson Ramos with an infield hit. All weird stuff. But it puts the Nats up 1-0. And that's where we're at as we head to the top of the fourth inning. You do the math. Michael Taylor with a run.
Ramos, Desmond Moore, top of the fourth inning.
Fanatic, we've missed him. He's the best.
Wilson Ramos has the Nats RBI, his 34th of the year, on a bouncing ball off of Harang's glove. 2 outs, first inning. Up and in on his 43rd pitch. Ramos, a rocket right at 2, Ryan Howard. Had him played about 30 feet off the bag. Next up, Ian Desmond. For the Achiever and you, PNC Bank with our minor league report. Didn't take Trey Turner long to, first of all, get named to the Futures game and then to get promoted. So it goes 359 in 10 games at AA, and the Nats will challenge him up another level. Desmond hooks one away from the left fielder. Pretty good spear by Cody Ashe to keep Ian Desmond at first base. But Desmond coming alive. Well hit with some hook left field way.
Well, that's a good play by Cody Ashe. You have to give the former third baseman for the Phils some credit right here, because this ball's hooking away from him and looks like it has 1 out double written all over it. Nice swing by Ian Desmond. Watch Ashe, the former third baseman, like he's going into foul territory and throwing back to first. Hold Ian Desmond to just a single. It's a nice play.
Tyler Moore flared one to center first time up for a base hit.
The way the Nats are going down like flies right now, Trey Turner might be here in a minute.
It's crazy. And another infield injury tonight. Escobar hopefully will find something out after the game.
If he can play, he can play. Talent plays.
And I know it was only 10 games, but that league, Harrisburg's in the Eastern League, is considered a very good pitchers league. There are a lot of good major league prospects at that level in that league. Week and a half there, no problem. He was a AA before that. San Antonio for El Paso, or rather for San Diego. That ball hanging upstairs a little bit, and Tyler laid off. 2-1. Nats have out hit the Phillies by 4. Tyler, big rip and straight back it went.
Nice play right in front of us. That was a bullet. And I was ready for the ricochet, and he just picked it barehanded. Nicely done, sir.
Yeah, that's how close we are.
Watch it. You guys got this. Nice. Look at this coming right back at us. Boom. Didn't even drop his sweater.
Nice shot, Sam, sitting right next to us up here. That breaking ball hanging up.
I mean, besides the cool things you see in the course of a game on the field, there's nothing like a foul ball. There really isn't. When you come to the ballpark, and just watching people go for foul balls, either catch or not catch foul balls, the excitement of a little kid when he gets a foul ball. It's the best thing at the ballpark. It really is. And we watch it every night, and we see the joy in people's eyes when they get a souvenir, a foul ball. There's no other sport like that. I mean, hockey, every once in a while the puck goes in the stands. Football, you got to throw it back, or they get the net for the extra point. Basketball, I mean, that's one of the greatest things about baseball is the foul ball.
Runner on the move, and Tyler Moore makes contact from out in front of the plate. Cameron Rupp throws him out. Ian Desmond to scoring position, 2 down.
Root for the home team as they take on the Giants July 5th. ESPN will now broadcast this matchup, and I'll be in the stands with you. That's Sunday Night Baseball. The game's going to start at 8:08, so mark that down. A lot of different start times in that Giants series. 6:05 on Friday, 11 o'clock on Saturday, 8:08 on Sunday. First 25,000 fans receive a Steven Strasburg bobblehead. That's presented by Geico. You know where to go for more information. There's Steven Strasburg. That is not his bobblehead.
You see the real thing here Sunday. Gio will go tomorrow. And Matt Dendecker hustling, but he's thrown out top of the 4th over. The Nats have stranded 5 that lead 1-0.
All know what Max Scherzer has accomplished over his last 2 starts. But if you thought that those 2 outings were going to be satisfactory for Scherzer going forward, well, you don't know Max Scherzer very well. Scherzer said the other day, yes, these 2 outings have been great, but I'm not going to be defined by those 2 starts. I'm going to be defined by all 33 that I make this year. He's proud of what he's accomplished the last 2 weeks for sure. But Scherzer said those 2 starts mean nothing to him now, and he's gone to work over the past 4 days to make sure he's as prepared as possible for the Phillies tonight. His outing against Milwaukee was his first time facing the Brewers this season. Same with the Pirates. This is his 3rd time facing the Phillies, and he prepared accordingly. He planned to have a different strategy against Philadelphia this time.
Look at the pitch counts. 6, 9, and 10. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Odubel Herrera, ground ball to Tyler Moore, first time up. So he got ahead, tries to buzz the inside corner with a fastball. 94 just missing. Look out. Rocket into the seats.
Another great catch.
A fan caught that thing. We're at the stroke of 8 o'clock here in Philadelphia. BCFP DK on MASN. Masson's coverage of the Nats tonight. First game of a 6-game road trip from Philly to Atlanta with an off day Monday. Washington 6 games in a row, 3.5 up on the Mets, 5 on the Braves in the East. 1-2 pitch. Close.
Shook 3 times to get to that slider.
That one floats up and away. 84 on the change. Last 2 hitters, 3 ball counts. And a ground ball right side. Douglas got to be quick here. He is. 10 straight to start the game.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. That's brought to you by Miller Lights. You know, Dubal Herrera just made a pass at ball 4. That's how convinced hitters are that Max Scherzer is not going to walk anybody.
Struck out Cesar Hernandez first time up. That's inside.
Almost see the body language from Max slow down. He's walking off the mound now on the back, taking his hat off and just telling himself, slow down, slow down. You could see it after that pitch.
Yeah. 4 ground ball outs. 3 in a row. And it's 2-0.
Little reset, go back to work.
Guy swinging on 3-1, 2-0.
But they're late. 2-0, they're gearing up. I'm going to catch you out front. You're throwing me a fastball, and they're late.
That's a beauty.
Then you get a 2-1 slider because you're thinking, well, he saw me late on 2-0. He's probably going to throw me that again, right? Wrong. 2-1 slider, strike 2.
Mercedes-Benz tracking a beauty. 2-2 pitch now. Swing and a miss. 85 down and away. Strikeout number 3.
Watch the movement on this changeup for Max Scherzer. I mean, he's thrown some good changeups, but this is like a split. Watch it just dive late. There it is. There it isn't. So 2-0 fastball late, 2-1 slider for a strike, and a 2-2 changeup that's filthier than the bucket of filth. Wow.
Michael Franco hit a rocket that Danny Espinosa stabbed, ending the first inning. That's inside.
And he got a 97 for it.
What a good-looking young hitter this is. Won't be 23 until the end of August. It's one out to short. Nice big hop at the end there for Ian Desmond. And Max Scherzer has retired 12 in a row. He will lead off top of the 5th inning. 1-0 Nats in case you forgot the score. 2012. Ryan Zimmerman hit number 1,000 going the opposite way at Coors Field. The Nats would have at that time a record of 21 hits and 11 extra base hits in a 12-5 win over the Rockies, and that was the most hits that they would ever collect during Davey Johnson's 155 game tenure as Nats skipper.
Now the dudes, a little selfie action. Maybe they're taking a picture of the guy that's hitting right now. I'm going to go with the second one.
Max Scherzer, base hit off the glove of Cesar Hernandez.
I mean, if this was a Little League game, they'd be checking Max Scherzer's birth certificate right after the game. Are you really 12?
Yeah.
Or are you 18? Look at this swing. Fastball up, going the other way. Just another part of his game that he works diligently on between starts.
And he's only batting .265 now this year. Michael A. Taylor 1 for 2 with a double. And look at Scherzer get a secondary lead. He's playing baseball into second base.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, when Clayton Kershaw was named MVP, the reason I went with it because he was a pitcher, which I was always against, is because he was a baseball player. He was hitting, he was running the bases, he was doing everything besides pitching every fifth day. Same goes for number 31. That was a great read on a ball in the dirt. 99 pitchers out of 100 don't go to second base on that. Trust me.
Well, Michael A. Taylor did the same thing from second to third in the first inning. Helped the Nats get a run, and now Scherzer at second base. Nobody out for Taylor, who has driven in 27 runs.
Max Scherzer has 3 hits in his last 3 starts. Let's just say a lot more than he's given up.
Yeah, 6-game hitting streak. Taylor, he's going to bunt Max Scherzer over to third base. And it'll take a good play to get him, and he's safe, as Maikel Franco could not be quicker than Michael A. Taylor. How about the numbers 9 and 1 guy playing some fantastic small ball here?
Well, the reason the Nats have won 6 in a row is obviously the starting pitching. We showed you the graphic on that, and you all know about that, the last 6 games. But, you know, because of injuries, they've adapted to playing small ball, realizing that because of the staff and the way they're pitching, if we do the little things on offense and just push a couple across, we're going to win some ball games. And you love the new style of baseball. They're not living and dying on the home run.
Right.
They're doing things to move guys around, and it is refreshing to watch, and it's something that's going to be there on a nightly basis, not like the home run.
Yeah, thus the old saying, speed never slumps. Make contact, put the ball in play, and start running. And Taylor may not be done running in this sequence right here either. Danny Espinosa 0 for 2. Harang has thrown him a bunch of off-speed stuff. Swinging strikeout and the ground ball to first. But this time he's got more room on the right side with Michael A. Taylor at first base. He's holding, and Espinosa late swing. Cameron Rupp hit by that one.
American Standard, who's hot, who's not? Celebrate the season with American Standard All-Star Sales Event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities. I can't read that any faster. Michael Taylor, 361 average, updated, 8 runs. Aaron Harang, he's been scuffling his last 6 starts, last 10 games. Michael Taylor has not, so he's hot. Harang not. Taylor wants to go.
Long look. He started, then stopped. Espinosa to center. Coming in for that ball, Herrera. Max Scherzer coming home, and he scores. He's a pitcher, he's a hitter, he's a base runner, a baseball player / athlete. And Max Scherzer manufactures a run for himself.
Look at the third base dugout. If that doesn't fire up a ball club, besides what he's done on the mound the last, well, all season, I don't know what does. When you see your pitcher out there playing as hard or harder than anybody else, realizing that that ball's not going to drop, not wandering down the line from third base, going back and tagging up. And if every Nats fan was like me on this, I was hoping there wasn't a slide at the plate or any sort of contact. That worked out nice.
Went in standing up, and here's Dan Uggla. Now we'll see if Taylor tries something here with one out.
I mean, my first thought is he's not tagging on that. There's no way he wants to slide at home or have anything to do with the catcher. Forget that. He went back, tagged up, and beat the throw home.
That ball gets away, and Taylor saw the ball close to Cameron Rupp and stayed at first.
Be big if this inning could be extended by Nats hitters. Scherzer single, advances on the ball in the dirt, tags at third, and he said as much in his last start. That sixth inning where the Nats scored some runs and he got to go back in the air conditioning and kind of regroup for the last 3 innings was huge. So maybe just as huge here is if the Nats can get a few hits and make this inning last.
Helicopter swing, couldn't get to that one. Dan Uggla replacing Escobar, walked his first time up, back in the third. Erased on that 4-3 tag double play. Michael A. Taylor, by the way, 8 for 10 stealing. He was 0 for 2 as a would-be base stealer in 17 games last year. Upstairs to Uggla.
Michael Taylor trying to get a jump. Aaron Harang just too quick to the plate. But in being quick to the plate, he's leaving the fastball up to Dan Uggla. So he's rushing, his arms trailing. Uggla might get something up to hit right here.
And out to center. Not deep, and Herrera right there for the second out. So here in the 5th inning, it'll be up to Clint Robinson to keep things going. Clint, a fly ball to center, and the 4-3 double play ball. And he hits one a mile gone and foul. Upper deck, look out. Good range.
Good hustle all day, baby.
That was not possible a few years ago in this ballpark. Pitch out, and Taylor holding. To the big, strong left-handed hitter. Good ID, and he takes it low, 2-1.
Michael Taylor's doing a nice job of getting a good lead, and he's waiting for Aaron Harang to pick up his leg. And what I mean by that is Harang is slide stepping, so he's got the quickened delivery to the plate. But if he does pick up his leg, Taylor's going to go. That's what he's reading right now at first.
Busted bat, and it's enough. Taylor's going to stop at second base as Cody Ashe picks it up, and Clint Robinson checks in with a base hit.
That might be a huge hit for the Nats. That just extends the inning. Lets Max Scherzer rest a little more down in the tunnel, get some more air conditioning. Now a little meeting at the mound. So Clint Robinson makes the third out right there. Scherzer's right back on the mound. Base hit, extends the inning.
Wilson Ramos 1 for 2 with an RBI, steps in. 3 hits in the inning. The Nats now have 7. Constant pressure they put on Aaron Harang and the Phils tonight. He has not had a 1-2-3 inning. And Ramos swings and misses. The breaking ball gets away. And Clint Robinson was watching Michael A. Taylor. Neither able to advance.
Aaron Harang's slider is his best pitch tonight. The fastball's been elevated. Usually he lives on corners and keeps it down, but his slider has been late and has good breakdown away from righties. You'd think in this situation he's really going to lean on it.
Ramos to right, hits a bullet, and it's off the glove of Dominic Brown. Michael Taylor comes around to score. Robinson into third. Boos in Philadelphia. The Nats lead 3-0.
Well, they're booing not because he dropped it. Well, partly because he dropped it. He cruised on the play. He Cadillac'd it. And that's the last thing you could do in this city is Cadillac anything. You could hit 220 in Philadelphia, and if you play your tail off every single day and have a dirty uniform, they'll love you. But if you Cadillac balls like that, they'll boo you all day long. And watch Dominic Brown just kind of cruise back on that. One-handed, Cadillac it, and the inning extends and more rest for Max Scherzer.
E9, no RBI. That's fine. Here's Ian Desmond. And Ian takes a big rip. The last time he was up there and a defensive glitch extended an inning, he hit a home run.
This is Dominic Brown's 4th year in the big leagues, and they are wanting to see what they want to see from Dominic Brown. They haven't seen it yet. And they're giving him an extended look right now in a team that's scuffling. They want to see if he's the player they thought he was, but when you talk to some people around here, this might be his last chance, and that's not going to do anything to help.
Two years ago, huge year here.
Yeah, he had a good first half, was an all-star, and ever since then it's been a rough go.
That ball bouncing way out in front of Cameron Rupp. He had 27 homers, 83 RBIs that year in 13. But as you said, at least 2/3 of that was before the All-Star break. 235 last year. Started this year hurt. Rough ride for 27-year-old Dominic Brown. 1-2 to Ian Desmond, base hit to left last time up. And Harang bounces another one. He's thrown 3 pitches tonight that have been about 4 to 5 feet short of home plate.
Cameron Rupp taking a beating. Nice block by the Phillies catcher. You know, another thing, everyone talks about minor league systems and whether they're good or bad. Nobody ever points out that if a minor league system is bad for a young player in the big leagues, you don't feel the same pressure to perform because there's nobody coming up behind you. So for some players here in Philly, they're getting a good look at the major league level, and there's somebody watching you every night. But if you know that there's nobody in AAA or AA pushing you, maybe there's not the sense of urgency that you normally have.
2-2 pitch. Desmond can't get it upstairs. But the Nats will pick up 2 runs, one of them earned, and now 3-0 halfway through the game. be shaken and bacon against the Phillies. Career against Philadelphia, the first professional organization he was with. 7-5, 302 and 14 starts. Adam Morgan won his major league debut Sunday against St. Louis. 25-year-old lefty who gets you going at 2:30 with Nats Extra. First pitch, 3:05.
Time for Toyota K's for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. So 3 so far for Max Scherzer. Same seats, everybody.
Swing and a miss. Changeup. Strike one, 5th inning underway. Ryan Howard fly ball to center first time. Arriving at that twilight time here in Philadelphia. Low and inside. Three-run cushion for the Nats ace. Howard, right center. A ways for Taylor to go, and he is waiting for it. 13 straight.
Come out to Nats Park on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays this season for Miller Lite Party Night. Get a game ticket plus a drink while enjoying live music before the game. Starting at just $20. Go to nationals.com/party for this special offer.
Dominic Brown hearing it from his own fans here. He hit a fly ball to center first time up. First pitch breaking ball. Scherzer drops it in. Shows him the fastball away. And that one drops in.
It's a curveball, 81.
Strike 2.
He only threw that 10% of the time his last start and 9 the start before that. So every once in a while just mixes in that wrinkle right around 80.
Mercedes-Benz on that pitch track. And that ball hit deep to center. Michael A. Taylor waiting for it. Edge of the track. 2 down.
I don't think they're chanting Brown.
And I'm hearing some applause after every out too. I know that a lot of Nats fans have come up here. Hey, it's a Friday night work week over. They want to be in on something special in case. And here's Cody Ashley now, who Scherzer struck out first time up. Got a piece of it. Strike 1. Right off the trademark to the left side. No balls, 2 strikes.
He's going to the whip early. 96 right there.
Had him reaching. Ground ball. Ugla. Now Max Scherzer through 5. 15 in a row. 46 in the 3rd innings. For the starting rotation, scoreless. Amazing pitching by Max and all the guys who are taking his lead. Scherzer and the Nats 3-0 after 5 here in Philly. Tyler Moore, Matt Dendecker, and then you know who on deck here. Aaron Harang throws one in there, his 77th pitch of the night. Tyler Moore 1 for 2 with a base hit to center. Nats box a run on 2 hits. Wilson Ramos infield hit to score Taylor first inning, and then 2 more in the 5th. Hits by Scherzer, a bunt by Taylor, Robinson a hit, sac fly Espinosa in between, and then the error by Dominic Brown, another run. Wow, what a great job of staying back on an off-speed pitch, and Tyler Moore is 2 for 3.
Nats fans get an idea when you play every day, you get some at-bats, the hits start coming, you're relaxed, and you're seeing the ball. Nice swing. For every Nats walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. The Nats have drawn 225 walks for a total of $11,250. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Matt Dendecker. 2 ground balls to the right side. He's been swinging early in the count tonight. Got a little piece of that one for a strike. Max Scherzer taking a bit of a breather just now, coming out on deck. Dendecker to right. See you later. His 2nd major league home run. The Nats lead 5-0, and that number 8 spot continues to be productive. He wasn't in the lineup tonight until Denard Span was scratched.
Max Scherzer digging it. Everybody in that dugout digging it. Matt Dendecker. No silent treatment for Dendecker. His first home run as a National, and it was a bolt to right center field. 5-0 Nationals. Next man up.
Dendecker hit his first big league homer 2 years ago for the Mets when he played 27 ball games at 58 at bats. Now a couple of years later gets a chance to be back in the big leagues with Washington.
Good for him.
Scherzer perfect night, sacrifice and a base hit. 5-0. A quick out here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I think he needs a raise personally.
Swing and a miss, and he's gone. So the perfect night at the plate is over.
Do you think he needs a raise?
No.
I think he needs a raise.
I think he's being well compensated.
I think he needs to go into
myself.
The office and ask for a raise right now. Let's see the home run again. A little 2-seam fastball. Running back right down the middle. Gone. Wow. Very short, compact swing. Foot down early. High fives in the dugout. So Matt Dendecker. I think that's how you pronounce it. Decker. His first home run as a Nat. You know, small D. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers are donating $250 for taters just like that to the Children's National Health System. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
That first homer I talked about 2 years ago in September was against the Nats. So that makes up for that one.
By Decker?
Matt. I'll tell you what, Westminster Academy in Florida is having a pretty good night here.
They are.
3 knocks, 3 runs, 2 RBIs between Dendecker and Taylor. Michael A. has doubled off the center field wall and bunted for a hit. Not able to reach that breaking ball. 2 outs and strikeout number 5 for Aaron Harang. That'll bring in Danny Espinosa. Harang due to bat 3rd in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Liberty Bell's scuffling tonight. It's got a short in it or something. It's like when you stay at one of those cheap motels, the sign out front.
Something
the no vacancy
something
sign.
I've never done. I know what you're saying. When it's 2 in the morning and you got to find someplace.
Well, no, I played an A-ball.
Yeah.
That's what you stay in. That's what the sign looks like at every A-ball hotel.
Guy named Norman's working the front desk.
Yeah. You pull the bus right up to the room. Get out of the bus and go right, and it just says no vacancy, just like that. This place used to say no vacancy every game.
Yeah.
Scuffling.
1-1, that's in the dirt. And the Phillies have scored the fewest runs in the major leagues. Only the Braves have hit fewer home runs in the National League. And they've also given up in the majors the most runs and the most home runs. That was the 88th home run the Phillies have given up. Espinosa to center for Odubel Herrera. And that'll do it for the 6th inning. So the Nats give Max Scherzer a huge cushion now. They'll have 7, 8, and 9 due up. And then Decker got all of that one to right center. A no-doubter. What a good night for him.
Michael Taylor having a nice night. Yunel Escobar left the game in the first inning. We hope he's okay. It's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington, Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. Remember those first grade books? Let's see Max pitch. Now let's see Max hit. And now we'll see Max run. I mean, doing it all here today. Max Scherzer, baseball player, on display, tagging up on a medium fly ball to center field, not even hesitating a bit. Max Scherzer doing it all here tonight against the Phillies.
First pitch, bottom of the 6th, fastball. Strike 1 to Cameron Rupp. Freddie Galvis to follow. Then it looks like Darren Ruff will be hitting for Aaron Harang.
Or in my case, junior year in high school books.
Orioles in the expansion era, 54 innings back in '74. The expansion era, anything from 1962 on. So the second best since then. It's a breaking ball that was over the plate, but a little bit low, 2-2. Rupp fouled out on the good play by Tyler Moore, first time up. Off speed, upstairs, 3-2.
Reach back, let her rip.
And he struck him out. 3 ball counts not bothering Max Scherzer tonight. Strikeout number 4.
Well, I like what they did right there. We're looking at the Nissan pitch track. That's a shake-off fastball. What does that mean? It means Wilson Ramos put down fastball, but Max Scherzer shook no just to get some doubt in the hitter's head that it might not be a 3-2 fastball. And as a hitter, when you see a guy shake off, you're like, why is he shaking 3-2? He's not going to throw a fastball now, and that might have put an extra mile an hour or two on that pitch he just threw. Shake off fastball. Remember that one.
Freddie Galvis, the number 8 hitter. Breaking ball to the outside edge. Perfect. On the grass at third, Danny Espinosa. Galvis speedy. Hitting around 240 from this side of the plate. And a breaking ball that he hooks into the right field corner, and that's a fair ball. Hits at the 330 mark, and the Phillies have a base hit. After 16 in a row, retired by Max Scherzer.
That's how good Max Scherzer is. A team gets a base hit, and their fans give him a standing ovation. And I don't know if that ovation was for Galvis or Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
But I'm giving him a standing ovation right now. Unbelievable.
Darren Ruff, the hitter. He's 2 for 5 career against Max.
I mean, I can't believe what we just saw. I mean, we were sitting here thinking it again. It's going to happen again. I'm getting goosebumps going to break. You know, I've never seen anything like what I'm seeing from Max Scherzer the last 3 games. Unreal. I mean, you can't even reference his last game because it has no hitter in it because he's throwing a no-hitter this game. So I'm saying his last start instead of saying his no-hitter.
Yeah.
So you don't jinx tonight. This is just otherworldly stuff you're seeing from this right-hander.
He's got Ruff 0-2. It's a ground ball left side. That'll be cut off by Danny Espinosa for the second out. Now time to go ahead and win the game, and he's only given up that 1 hit against the Phils. So he had retired 16 in a row. Was about mid-50s on his pitch count before the Phillies were able to get a base hit. Odubel Herrera will be next. Freddie Galvis busted up an 0 for 8 with that base hit.
I mean, the positive side of this is, you know, there's a lot of energy physically and mentally that Max Scherzer spent the last 2 starts. So, you know, if he has the perfect game or no-hitter going, do we all want to see it? Are we greedy, and do we want to witness history? Of course. But now you don't run him into the ground with another complete game. It's a 5-0 lead, and you're going to need this guy, believe me, in September, in a pennant race in October for more. And you'd hate to see everything spent in June or early July with one of the best pitchers in baseball. So the fact that the Phillies got a hit, I mean, we all want to see a perfect game again. We all want to see a no-hitter. But there's far more important games to be played than a June game against Philadelphia at Citizens Bank. So, yeah, we were all wanting to see it. But I'd rather see something like this in October myself.
Breaking ball. Back to the screen it goes. No balls and 2 strikes. Herrera has pulled the ball on the ground twice. Once to Tyler Moore. And once to Danny Espinosa.
And somebody, I don't know who it is, changed seats at home. And I'm going to find out who it is. I'm going to find out where you live, and I'm coming to get you. Whoever changed seats at home, I know people.
Yeah. So if you see a guy coming down your street with a bat and his ball cap turned around backwards, turn on the alarm.
I know where you live.
0-2 pitch with 2 outs. Just dropping the off speed in case he wanted to go fishing. Herrera laying off.
And now we start to look at the pitch count. And you look at what he's done his last couple of starts, and I'm sure Matt Williams, Steve McCatty, everybody on it, probably not going to extend him like you would.
He's at 64 right now. 1-2 with 2 outs. Swing and a miss on a changeup, a dandy. Strikeout number 5. So Max Scherzer to the dugout. 1 hit through 6. An amazing run of pitching is far from over, even though he won't be perfect or no hit light tonight.
Help send Bryce Harper. I don't think he needs any help. He's doing pretty well. But you can help Yunel Escobar, Denard Span. If you could vote for Max Scherzer to start the game, I think we should all do that. But hopefully that happens. Bruce Bochy can't miss what's going on. The All-Star game is in Cincinnati in July. The voting ends July 2nd at noon or 11:59. Vote for the Nats up to 35 times unless you're a computer hacker. Then get in there and go to town. Be eligible for 50% off ticket offers. I mean, I'm not telling you to do that.
I think you just did.
I think I did. I mean, well, if you know how to do it.
Jenmar Gomez, 31st appearance, 1.80 ERA. And Gomez in 35 innings this year. Not a strikeout guy, 22 Ks. And the league's only hitting .259 against him.
Fastball slider change. Fastball 92.
Dan Uggla 0 for 1 career against him. Uggla 0 for 1 tonight with a walk after replacing Yunel Escobar. If you weren't with us in the first inning, Escobar took a fastball from Aaron Harang hard off his left hand. And hopefully okay. Uggla came in to play second base and moved Danny Espinosa over to third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Checking in, by the way, on the second place team, the Mets at home. 2-1 matchup against the Reds. 5th inning. And a good pitching duel. Noah Syndergaard and Johnny Cueto in that one. Braves are leading at Pittsburgh 1-0 5th inning. It's a breaking ball, kind of hanging a bit on the inner half in there for a strike. The Dodgers are all over the Marlins in Florida 6-1 5th inning. So you're up to date on the East. Two.
I'm honestly shocked that Max Scherzer went as far as he did tonight after what he's done the last 2 starts, that he had enough in the tank. You know, we talked about it in the first inning. What does he have left?
Yeah.
And it turns out he had a lot left.
Uggla outside the bag, and we're so close to Hershey, Pennsylvania, too.
We are. They're probably stocking up. If there's a celebration or 2 or 3 or 4 in the Nats clubhouse this year,
could get ugly.
Could get ugly.
2-2 pitch.
It'll be kid friendly.
Aguilar takes strike 3 at the knees. More on the offense from our guy Dan.
Bob, Max Scherzer obviously the story today in this ball game, but let's give a little love to this Nationals lineup as well. They're without arguably the guys who would be 1 through 6 in their batting order tonight because of injury. Span, Rendon, Worth, Harper, Zimmerman, Escobar leaving early because of an injury, and this lineup has produced 5 runs on 9 hits. The bench guys really coming through for this ball club tonight.
It's like we mentioned in the open, guys getting hurt and teammates stepping up.
Next man up. It's the big leagues.
It's what championship teams do.
It's an opportunity for other people. But if it were a spring training game, the commissioner would call the Nats and say, hey, you have to have 4 regulars in there. That's a fine.
I know. You're not going to Clearwater with that lineup to play the Phillies. It's working okay in South Philly, though. 84. Clint Robinson was geared up for a heater there. He had a base hit to left last time. He's 1 for 3 tonight.
I'm telling you, though, as a bench guy, you take pride in that. You don't want your regulars hurt, but it's an opportunity for you to A, perform at the highest level, and B, show people that, hey, I can get the job done too.
And I'm reaching for that one up the middle. Cesar Hernandez, 2 outs.
Peanuts are back at the Fitz June 28th through the 30th, and again on Independence Day weekend. Enjoy food, fireworks, fun, along with the highly anticipated Wilson Ramos, whatever the thing it is, on the July 5th giveaway. For all your ticket information and promotional information, visit PotomacNationals.com. Did I say Independence Day wrong? Independence Day. We got to put July 4th on this for the slower readers like myself. July 4th. Flow's looking good. Salad, nice.
That's doing okay without Bryce in the lineup yesterday and today. MRI showing the hamstring area is okay. And as long as the team's winning and producing, no need to rush anybody back in there.
Yeah, you want them 100% for sure. But I say rush him.
Ramos on a breaking ball, fouls it straight down, 0-2. Five nothing Washington, top of the 7th. Ramos has hit the ball hard twice tonight and come up empty. And one time he hit a bouncer over the mound. He got an RBI hit. And Ramos swinging a foul tip and the inning's over. So Genmar Gomez comes in to quiet things down for the Phils. It's our Hyundai 7th inning stretch. City Hall, William Penn presiding over a beautiful Friday night in
Scherzer took the mound in the bottom of the first, but they wouldn't let me. So we're going to go with the Freddie Galvis double to break up the perfect game bid by Max Scherzer with 1 out in the 6th inning. Standing ovation. I'm calling for Max Scherzer because I gave him one too. He's been fantastic here once again.
All right, back to work. 65 pitches, 45 strikes through 6. And a drive to left. Unreachable for Clint Robinson on a good swing by Cesar Hernandez and a leadoff double.
I see some action in the bullpen here. And not because of the double, just because of what has happened the last 2+ games. Nice swing right here by Cesar Hernandez, double in the gap. 10th double of the year for Hernandez.
Maikel Franco, hot shot to third, a line drive out and a ground ball to short. Scherzer low and away.
Dirty Uni once again on the mound, not shocked.
Max hasn't pitched fewer than 6 innings in any start this year. He went 6 2/3 at Yankee Stadium before the 2 landmark games against Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. That's a fastball up in the zone at 94.
Mercedes-Benz on the pitch track, 94, probably the top corner of the zone.
Wow, that was a big swing by Franco. So Max Scherzer this year, 15 starts now. He's gone at least 6 in every one of them. He's gone 7 or more 10 times, 8 or more 3 times, and of course the 2 complete games.
Pitch number 70 coming, 48 strikes, 21 balls.
One ball, 2 strikes. Got him on a off-speed pitch, 84 in the dirt. Good stop by Wilson Ramos, and then the tag for the first out. Strikeout number 6.
Well, uniform dirty, but this changeup even dirtier. Watch this one. Might be better than the first one we showed you. I think it was a Cody Ashe strikeout in the 6th, but that one every bit is nasty. Bottom dropping out of the changeup.
That ball right through Ramos and back to the brick wall.
See, that pitch right there is telling me that Max is getting tired. Watch him just kind of overthrow this to the other side of the plate. A guy that's had pinpoint command all season long. That one might be a little sign of fatigue creeping in, even though he's at 71 pitches.
Howard on the pitch on his hands fouls it back. He gets an RBI for a ground ball anywhere except to the pitcher or right at Danny Espinosa in the baseline left side. That's a pretty well-rested bullpen the way the starters have been going lately. Down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Howard, who's hit 2 fly balls to center tonight. Max Scherzer says you're not going to elevate anything in this at bat. Strikeout number 7.
I mean, he does whatever he wants. If he needs a strikeout, he gets a strikeout. If he needs a ground ball double play, he gets that. Although he's not allowing base runners to get a double play ever. But a couple of nasty changeups back-to-back to Ryan Howard after he struck out Maikel Franco with a changeup too.
Dominic Brown, 2 fly balls to center, and that's low and in, ball 1.
Younger pitchers that throw 97 throw harder with runners in scoring position. Veteran guys go softer, and you just saw that with Max Scherzer. And the reason they do that is they're taking advantage of a hitter who might be a little bit antsy and anxious to drive in that run. When you're jacked up as a hitter and there's a runner on third, less than 2 outs, you can throw me a million and I'm going to hit it because I'm jacked up too. But if you throw me some nasty changeups, I'm going to spin myself into the ground every time.
Timing. And a 1-1 right in there. 96. What's a hitter to do here?
Might see a changeup.
He did. And a 2-2 pitch driven to left. Robinson, it's a foul ball, and he can't get it. I don't know why Cesar Hernandez is walking into his dugout.
Well, the players behind him, he couldn't tell if it was fair or foul, and Clint Robinson doing a nice slide into the line. Good effort.
Umpire had signaled it pretty quickly, and so Robinson playing near the line. Figures I can't get it. It's not playable. 9 o'clock hour here at Citizens Bank Park. The Nats on top 5-0. 7th inning. Fastball just missing away. 3-2.
Max thought it was a strike just for a second. And a ball to left center. Michael A. Taylor after it. Can't get it. The shutout streak is over for the Nats starting rotation as the Phillies put a couple of doubles together here in the 7th inning, and it's a 5-1 game. So 3 hits tonight for the Phils, and they're all doubles. This one well hit by Dominic Brown. It's a good at-bat by the Phillies right fielder. Fouled off some tough pitches, and that should get the bullpen stirring a little bit. Cody Ashe, the next hitter. In case you're wondering, Powerball 50 million, Mega Millions 64 million tonight in the lottery. Yeah,
Not fractions of billions like it used to be. So David Carpenter and Matt Thornton up.
Steve McCatty going to come out and give Max Scherzer a little rest, and Max I don't think needs one. He doesn't look thrilled about this visit, or maybe he does need one. I don't know. I'm going to stick with my first guess.
I'm all right. I'm fine. That's a fastball up in the zone. Outer edge for strike one.
You know, I think he might be gassed just a little bit. He doesn't have that stalker thing going on today where he's, you know, the last 15 pitches empty the tank, the part that we've all grown to love and the end of a Max Scherzer start. And we can talk about the physical part of what he's done the last two games, but the emotional part and the mental part of having to grind for every single pitch in a near-perfect game, in a one-hitter, in a near-perfect game, in a no-hitter, that's where you get sapped for all the energy is the mental stuff, that every single pitch you're focused. You can't take one pitch off. You can't say, okay, I'm just going to relax right here. You're grinding, you're focused, you're concentrating to a level that none of us know about every single pitch. And there's a time when, okay, I got nothing left. And it's not about the arm or the legs. It's about the mental part of it and the emotional part of what Scherzer's gone through the last two starts, 2+ starts, here tonight too. Not being able to take one pitch off and just lay one in there. You can't. Trying to make history.
16 in a row before the Phillies could do anything tonight. And a 1-2 pitch with 2 outs. Came flying open on that 84, and the count's even 2-2. And it's 3-2.
Slam the rosin bag down behind the mound. He knows he just wants to make one more good pitch, get back in that dugout, and finish with a clean inning. Not have to come out of this ball game. We're having trouble getting on the same page.
I know. It's hard when nobody's been on second base in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The 3-2 pitch to Cody Ashe. And a foul ball left side. Started this inning with 65 pitches through 6. And he'll get a pop-up. Ramos gets away from the umpire in front of the screen, but it's a couple of rows over. Kodiashi battling here. According to Stats Inc., the scoreless streak ends at 47 1/3, where it was when this inning starts.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we thought maybe 48 because 2 outs were registered before the run scored, but evidently the inning doesn't count if a run is scored. 3-2, 2 outs. And a little chopper. Scherzer over to make a play. The throw on a bounce, safe. First and third, 2 outs on an infield hit.
Matt Williams,
the catcher, is next.
Decision time for Matt Williams. And Kodiashi ends a big-time battle between the two with a swinging bunt single. First and third, 2 outs.
Well, I just saw a manager and a pitching coach look at their pitcher, and both were clapping. So go ahead and do this. So it's a righty-righty matchup with Cameron Rupp, who's 0 for 2 tonight and 0 for 5 career against Scherzer.
I'm just reading his body language, and he's beat. I mean, tired. And it's 1,000,000,000% understandable. But he's still going to give you everything he got. No doubt about that ever.
That's a balk. Or was time given? Okay. The hitter got time, and Max just shut it down.
It was late.
Yeah, that was very late. It could be so dangerous for a pitcher, and Max able to pull that off. Wow. And a ball skied to left. Desmond out, Robinson in. Clint has it. So we'll all walk Max Scherzer off here in the 7th inning. A run on 4 hits tonight. Fantastic effort. And the Nats lead 5-1. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. On to the top of the 8th inning. 5-9-0 Washington, 1-4-1 Philadelphia. Ian Desmond. And we used the stat recently, because a lot of these guys are trending very well. Honda brings you the do-ups here in the top of the 8th. Desmond Moore, Den Decker.
He and Desmond trying for back-to-back twofers.
Fastball comes tailing back from Genmar Gomez. A 1-2-3-7 first by a Philly pitcher tonight. When he struck out Ugla, grounded out Robinson, and struck out Ramos. Desmond, he was waiting for a hanger, and he couldn't wait long enough. Look where that ball goes, to the top of the lower deck.
So the guys caught this with Max Scherzer coming off the field. Watch this. I'm good. I'm good. And heads right under. So, you know, guys like Max Scherzer are going to tell you always they're good. The competitors, the type A guys, the alpha male pitchers. I've never been to a trip to the mound where a pitcher like Max Scherzer, if there's such a thing, but I'm talking about aces and #1 starters, have ever told a manager, I'm good, take the ball. Never. And that's where, as a manager, it's a hard decision to decipher, okay, is he really good? Is he telling me he's good? Or is that just his makeup? And has he hit the wall? So that's the tough part about managing when you have a guy out there like Scherzer.
Desmond called out on strike 3. Fastball running back to the outside edge. 4 straight for Gomez.
And I'll tell you what, if I ever went to the mound on a visit and I heard a pitcher say, I'm good, here, take the ball, I don't know that I could look at him the same anymore.
Yeah. Tyler Moore, a 2-hit night. Trying to get that batting average over 220 now. It's only a matter of time before he gets all of one. It hits it about a mile. A lot of base hits lately.
Are you making a call? Did you just make a call, kind of, sort of, around the block? Neighborhood play call right there?
You don't have to give away everything on the air.
I just want to say you're making a call. It's okay.
I just think he's due to start hitting for some real power here. The more he's seeing the ball. It's a good fastball in there, 1-1, 92.
Well, I think you're right. That's why I called you out on your call that you just called.
Okay. I think you're right in calling me out on my call.
Right. It's a good call.
Yeah, you're right. Tyler Moore facing Genmar Gomez for the first time. Mets are still ahead 2-1 at home over the Reds in the 8th inning. Braves have been tied by the Pirates in Pittsburgh in the 7th. Tyler takes one outside, 2-2. That one straight down, and it hurt.
Everywhere but the shin guard. Anywhere but the shin guard. Tag your tweets with hashtag NatsCouchCam to be entered to win autographed memorabilia. Follow @MatsonNationals on Twitter for more information. Upgrade your fan cave with Masson.
Wow.
And the curly W on the left.
Tyler Moore trying to shake it off and get back in there. 1 out, 8th inning. 5-1 Washington out hitting the Phillies 9-4. Close. Seeing the ball well.
Big pitch coming for your call.
Nissan. That was a baseball and a half off the corner. Moore to third, got jammed on that one. Michael Franco for the second out, 8th inning.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And let's go back to the 6th inning. Matt Dendecker with a not upper decker, a single decker, but it's his first Dendecker homer as a Washington National. 107 miles an hour.
Wow.
On the lower decker. And he was just the on-decker.
Max Scherzer on deck. And Dendecker with a tapper. It goes foul. It looked like it did before it got to the bag, and it is a strike.
Well, we've always liked Matt Dendecker when he was in New York. He never really got a chance to play much as a Met.
27 games in 13, 53 the following year.
Had a home run against the Nationals in a spring training game we did on Masson, and I think he hit one against the Nats a couple days before in St. Lucie. So I like his approach. The foot's down early. It's a very simple swing. He's a good outfielder. Decent runner. Sees changeups well with 2 strikes.
Two pitch. Changeup got him. Genmar Gomez, 2 solid innings for the Phillies. Does Scherzer come out for the bottom of the 8th? The Nats lead 5-1. Then it looks like Ben Revere for the pitcher. And Herrera. Here he is, and another profitable night.
You know, it's been the fastball slider combination that's done most of the damage the last 2 starts for Scherzer, but it's fastball changeup here tonight against the Phillies. His changeup has been electric with split action at the end, 85 miles an hour. So The fastball coming out easy all night long, 94 to 97. And the changeup with 2 strikes devastating, one of the best ones he's had this season. That's some even distribution. 7 strikeouts, 7 groundouts, 7 flyouts. If that's a slot machine, you're rich.
Long inning there. In the 7th, 28 pitches, 93 on the night. Freddie Galvis, the guy who ruined the perfection 2 innings ago on a pitch up in the zone. This is up on the infield. Scherzer makes the call and the catch.
Add that one to the highlight reel tonight. C-Max pitch, C-Max hit, C-Max run, and C-Max field. Not an easy play right there because you're coming off the mound. You're coming downhill, first of all. That's not easy, and then you're wondering if you're going to crash into somebody. Your eyes on the ball. Not a lot of time to call that one. Did he get a hug from Uggla right there?
That was his very sensitive moment for the Nats infield.
That was kind of like a half hug from Uggla. Well, probably not a lot of time out in the middle of the field to do that. That's more of a dugout thing.
Yeah. Here's Ben Revere pinch hitting. Revere not in the lineup tonight, despite being on a 4-game hitting streak with 10 hits. 7 career hits against Max Scherzer. And he's the 4th leading hit man in the National League with 84.
These are the kind of guys that break up no-hitters in perfect games.
Yeah. I wasn't that upset when I saw him not starting tonight.
Right.
And he also is 4th in the league with 18 stolen bases. So evidently just a night off for Ben Revere. And a 1-1 pitch. He actually hits one high in the air, deep to right. Dendecker going back, and it's gone. And caught by that fan. Ben Revere hits his first home run of the year. Not the biggest ballpark in the league, and the 3rd career homer for Ben Revere. It's now a 5-2 game.
Ben Revere showing his new manager, Pete McCann, that he wants to be in the lineup. And just kind of lofts one out here to right field. And did he reach over? No, I don't think he did.
Revere's first career pinch hit homer. Top of the order, Odubel Herrera. And in what's now a 5-2 game. Herrera 0 for 3. Max Scherzer's given up his 7th homer of the year. Off speed pitch, right side, tough play. Tyler Moore, and he got to the bag in time. Well done.
Great play. In between hop to the backhand side, little top spin to it. Tyler Moore just does what you're supposed to do. You kind of trap the backhand on the short hop. And then Max Scherzer got over, and Tyler Moore said, "I got this." Nice play. Just gets there in time, too.
Cesar Hernandez double to left center last time up. He hits a fly ball to right. Dendecker right in front of the track for this one. Every fly ball in this ballpark, when it gets hot, has a chance to go. So 2 runs on 5 hits through 8. He goes 8 for the 4th time this year. beyond. By Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. And by Airlines for America, where airplanes land, opportunity takes off. So the Nats lead 5-2, out hitting the Phillies 9-5. Max Scherzer appears to be done for the night. Ben Revere will stay in, batting ninth and playing center field. And it looks like, is that Doug Fister going to pinch hit here? There's Elvis Arrojo for the Phillies.
And 20th game for Arrojo. 16 strikeouts versus 6 walks. League hitting 324. Lefty's hitting 289, so Doug Fister is going to hit for Max Scherzer. He has 1 pinch hit single on the season. It was when he went in for Steven Strasburg, and he's coming up hacking.
And a pop-up caught by Freddie Galvis for the first down. Doug Fister, like all good pinch hitters, up there hacking on the first good one he sees in the late innings. That's what they do, right?
A short bench for Matt Williams tonight. Denard Span with back spasm. Bryce Harper with the hamstring going. Ugla already used, so it was basically Manny Burris or Jose Lobaton. You don't want to use your second catcher, so Matt Williams going with Doug Fister.
Michael A. Taylor's next. He goes up swinging, and that's over right side for Ryan Howard. 2 quick outs.
I mean, you got Ryan Zimmerman with the foot, Anthony Rendon with the quad, Bryce Harper with the hamstring.
Juice going on in a safe situation.
Jason Worth with the wrist. Denard Span with the back. I mean, that's pretty much like one of those medical skeletons you have. If you start from the bottom all the way to the top, they got it covered. MASH unit. And then Yunel Escobar with the hand, and we hope he's okay. My goodness.
Danny Espinosa to the right side, where he's 17 for 51, 333 this year.
And all that, and the Nats are going for 7 in a row here tonight. How about that?
Not to be forgotten there. Trying to get their road record back to 500. The Nats win this one, they'll be 9 over against the division. Always an important number.
That guy just amazes me every 5th day.
Yeah.
And now he gets to have some fun. Until tomorrow, where he'll just torture himself with all the conditioning and training he does getting ready for his next start.
Three balls, 1 strike to Danny Espinosa. Look out here. He's been so good from the right side this season. He got a pitch up and hit it straight back.
I feel like we're getting a foul ball this series. Maybe not tomorrow because it's supposed to rain all day. But Sunday. We're getting a foul ball Sunday.
Okay.
Calling it right now.
Outside, Danny Espinosa on board for the first time tonight. Had a sac fly earlier. And it'll bring in Dan Ugla.
If I was going to make a call, I'd make a call right here, but I'm not going to make a call. But I kind of just did make a call.
Yeah, you brought it up.
I know. Kind of a scared call is what that was.
Ugla gets his 4th plate appearance tonight after replacing Escobar. Walked in the 3rd. Fly ball to center in the 5th, and a called 3rd strike leading off the 7th on a pitch he thought was low.
6'6" from Maracaibo, Venezuela. Aguilas de Zulia is the team down there in Maracaibo.
Runner on the move. Pitch up is a swing. And swiping second base is Danny Espinosa. Could be an important 90 feet to help the Nats get a run to put him, at least it would be slam range to tie. Two pitch and Uggla stays alive. Elvis Arrojo from Maracaibo originally, nearing his 24th birthday. And the 0-2 is a swing and a miss. Phillies bullpen pretty good for the last 3 innings, shutting down the Nats. So now it's Drew Storen in a save situation. Yeah, Johnny, you have to throw it back to us because there's still some suspense left in this game. Drew Storen will be on, trying to get his 22nd save of the year. He had a long 23-pitch save one night this week, and then blew his first save in recent memory the very next night. So he's been spot on lately.
Yeah, fastball's been averaging 94 for Storen this year. Slider 83, changeup 87. So good to get right back out there on the mound, trying to lock down this one for Max Scherzer and his ball club.
First up for the Phils will be Michael Franco, who's 1 for 2 career against Drew Storen. Three, 4, 5. Howard and Brown to follow. And he goes with the slider missing.
Major League save leaders: Mark Melancon, Glenn Perkins, Trevor Rosenthal, Drew Storen, Zach Britton.
Hot shot, third base. Espinosa had to back up a bit, and there's the gun. 1 out. Amazing arm.
Serious gun. I'm a big fan when a ball club's down by 3 runs in the 9th inning of taking a strike. Unless you represent the tie and run, and it's a 1-run game, there's really no percentage in swinging at the first strike you see for me, unless the closer is got that devastating out pitch, and I guess you could throw Drew Storen in that category, but still, just one strike I feel like you should take in these situations, unless you hitting a home run is a difference maker.
Then he turns one over on Ryan Howard. Howard 4 for 8 career with a triple against Drew Storen. That's going to beat the shift. Ugla couldn't get there. Espinosa was further to pull in right field, and the Phillies need another base runner to bring the tying run up. 1 on 1 out in the ninth.
That was a tough needle to thread right there for Ryan Howard. He did it perfectly.
Next up, Dominic Brown. And he's had some success against Drew, 2 for 6. A bouncer. Oh, what a stop by Tyler Moore. And to short on a brilliant play that keeps the tying run out of the batter's box.
Well, the brilliant play was knowing that Ryan Howard was the out at second base, and the play took him that way, and that Drew Storen was racing a speedy Dominic Brown to first. So Tyler Moore, with great knowledge that Ryan Howard doesn't run well, to go to second base, and that Ryan Howard had to hold up to let that ball get by him. That was the easiest out the long way for Tyler Moore, and he got to a knee and made a strong throw right on the money to Ian Desmond. That's a big play.
Cody Ashe, and they'll give Dominic Brown second base. Ashe infield hit last time against Max Scherzer. One count, base hit. Drew Storen giving up a couple of hits and a run. Now they've got the runner hung up.
That can't happen.
Dominic Brown just stopped. Tyler Moore's going to tag him out, and the game is over. And listen to the boos now.
Oh my.
Wow.
Drew Storen and the Nats will take it. They go to 7 in a row and win the first game of this weekend's series in Philadelphia. And watch how this one ends. You're not going to see a stranger ending to a game ever. Dominic Brown just rounded the bag too far, got caught in between, and a meaningless run for the Phillies with a tying run coming to the plate in a 5-2 game is tagged out halfway between third and home to end this game. Unbelievable.
Wow, the Nats win it 5-2, 7 straight, 22nd save for Drew Storen. And here in the city of brotherly love, they're not feeling too loving about what they just saw. But the Nats are going to have all the love they need for Scherzer and company in the clubhouse tonight. 2:30, Nats Extra tomorrow. First pitch, 3:05. Gio goes for the red-hot Nats. And from the booth in Philadelphia, see you later.